Sustain. Don't I? E.T. for home. Thank you. In case I need another job, I can do a, what do you call that? A voiceover.
Broadcasting live 4 days a week worldwide.
From the sunny beaches of Southern California,
This is ExtremeHealthRadio.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Extreme Health Radio. This is Tristan Truscott, co-creator of the Good Morning, Good Evening Qigong with my dear friend and partner, Peter Ragnar. And it's awesome to be on the show with everybody.
Want an energy boost? Try Pure Hawaiian Spirulina today and feel the difference. Save 25% off your Spirulina order today using the coupon code JUSTIN, JUSTIN, at extremehealthradio.com/Nutrex. That's NUTREX.
Well, everyone, thank you for joining us for another episode of Free For All Friday. I'm Kate, your host today. Justin is the backup.
I'm the backup.
I'm calling this our Freaky Free For All Friday show.
Okay.
Like Freaky Friday, where they changed roles.
That's right.
And I just got the idea that I was going to take over today. Try my hand at this.
There you go.
Because it is a lot of work. And I feel like I kind of zone out when you're doing the intro usually. And I feel like I could do it in my sleep, but we'll see.
Let's give it a try.
So maybe I've absorbed some of this naturally.
Okay.
So just for reference, everyone, today is Friday, June 27th, 2014.
Nice.
And this is episode 272.
Oh, yes.
So you can find all of the show notes and wonderful things that the glorious Kate is so kind to write down during every free-for-all show.
I never say that.
Well, you should. I'm going to add it into your lines.
Okay. No, I never say that about my own self.
Oh, but you should.
Oh, okay.
Affirmations, Louise Hay style.
Okay. There you go.
We broadcast 4 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I have to say, I say that line a lot better than you do, because you always try to add in a Tuesday and you get confused.
I get confused. Okay.
Pacific, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
That's right.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
We do have a live show today, which is a Friday show, where everyone can join the chat room, join our wonderful our wonderful live community by joining the chat room, and you can ask questions, and hopefully we can get around to chatting with you and get some of those wonderful questions answered.
There you go. Look at you.
If you'd like to support our work,
You're quite
which we rely heavily on, a great way to do that, if you're already going to be buying things, which people do a lot through Amazon.
That's true.
If you could go through our link at extremehealthradio.com/Amazon, we would greatly appreciate it. We're thankful for all the support. All jokes aside, we are really, really grateful, because that keeps the lights on over here. And I'm sure Justin would want me to put in a reference about Tom Bodett. We'll keep the lights on for you. Motel 6. Check. Got that part off. Let's see what else we need to talk about. Notes here, blah, blah, blah. Oh, today was going to be the launch of the Empowered Women's podcast.
That's true.
But we had to push that out a week.
Yes.
So 1 week from today, that will be happening. We just had a few things we had to get a little bit more in order before that happened. So I think that's a wrap for the intro.
How come you decided to put off the launch of the podcast for Empowered Women's Channel?
I just said that. Were you not listening?
No, I'm sorry.
You're over there in the chat room taking my role.
I was reading Amber Marie's thing in the chat room.
I'm reading it too, but I can multitask. She says I'm so excited for that. See, I can do two things at once.
No, she's talked about Amazon Prime.
Oh, I missed that one. Okay, I'm going to stop making fun of you.
Stop making fun of me.
How'd I do?
You did really well.
Oh, thank you.
What did you say about your podcast? So why you're waiting a week?
Because you weren't listening. Because we had some things to wrap up.
I see.
We had some loose ends and odds and ends and some little editing.
Yeah, men are not good at multitasking. I will say that.
Well, at least you're not. But I can't speak for all the men out there.
Well, thank you. Wow, you just on a little chip on your shoulder today.
No, I love you. I'm just kidding. How'd I do?
You did really well.
Well, thank you. Is there anything I forgot?
No, that was great.
Okay.
Yeah, that was awesome.
The only thing I don't like about this Freaky Friday moment is that I'm actually still in my same chair across the desk and you still have the keyboard. So at any point you could choose to mute me.
I could mute you at any point.
And I don't know if I like that.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, so what else? What do we got going on today? Lots of stuff, right?
Man, chock full of good information, I hope.
Chock full of good stuff.
Well, let's talk a bit about who we had on this week, since I'm still in the hot seat over here.
Yeah, let's do that. Who did we have on?
Well, I find the guy that sticks out to me right away is Tom of Tom Stones. That guy is super interesting.
Yeah, did you guys get a chance to hear him?
Good night.
Tom from Tom Stones, Tom Benedict.
TomStones.org, right?
Actually, yeah, he was on Wednesday, wasn't he? Episode 270.
Yep.
Yeah, very interesting guy, wasn't he?
I just saw in the chat room, Patty. So Justin's the Cabana boy today.
Cabana boy.
I had to go back because I was busy introing and I missed that. That's great. Yeah, he was super, super, super interesting, wasn't he?
Yeah, I really liked what he said. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to listen to his show with us, but he was just, prior to doing our show, he was just on George Norrie.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Which is really cool.
We're one step to George Norrie.
And I don't know if you guys have Gaiam TV, but it's pretty cool stuff on there. And I think Beyond Belief is on that network or whatever.
With George Norrie.
George Norrie, yeah. So Tom Benedict does this healing with stones, and he uses crystals as well as rare earth gemstones and things. Okay, you're getting ready to what?
What? I'm just smiling. I'm just writing. Leave me alone.
But
I'm taking notes for you, remember?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
For us, for everyone.
Yeah, I just thought that we're going to get some of his stones, aren't we?
Heck yeah.
We've got some.
They're in the mail as we speak.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool.
I wonder if they, you know how he was saying I think he was saying within 18 inches of your body? Mm-hmm. Wasn't he saying that if you had that around, like if you had the stones anywhere within that was him, right? In that radius?
Yeah. So
I wonder about the people who deliver the stones, like the postal people. I wonder if they feel any kind of like vibes or what would you call it? Any kind of
some sort of I guess
energetic shift or something, or some kind of. I mean, I wonder if anybody is ever like holding or delivering parcels and packages that had these feelings about these things. I don't know. Maybe they get some little love.
Yeah, they could. It's totally possible. I mean, I don't know. It seems like maybe they wouldn't be that tuned in, or I don't know. Maybe it's a subtle thing too.
Well, you know that energy ring that I have from Chris Kaler?
Mm-hmm.
I'll now take that in my back pocket to work when I go to my Saturday, my one day a week at the salon.
Oh.
And because it's supposed to block negative energy, or you can kind of like give it an intention. And
is that where it goes on Saturday?
But it's cool because I feel like there is a difference in the energy in my clients that day.
Oh, really?
Totally.
Really?
Like, I don't feel like they're as negative, and I'm able to like somewhat block some of the negativity coming off of them. I feel like I'm in this little shield of sugary goodness.
Wow. I wonder, I wish I really knew what was going on, because I wonder what's actually happening. Is it like a placebo effect? Like, do you think that that's happening, or is it happening because you think it is happening, or is it actually doing that kind of work? Who knows?
I don't know, but I know that I usually know at the end of the day, I'll look back and I'll think, gosh, today went pretty smooth, and I'll forget I had it in my pocket all day until I go to sit in my car on the way home, and I'm like, oh, what's that metal thing? And it'll like remind me that I have something in my back pocket.
Yeah.
But I'll think, gosh, everybody seemed to be a little bit more chill today. So not that I'm aware of it the whole time. I'm not like throughout the day thinking, oh, I wonder if this ring's working, or I wonder, if people are, better for a reason because I have this in my pocket, or
yeah, it's really fascinating. I think there's something to it with all the stone stuff. I mean, there's a reason why people have been using stones and using these types of vibrational frequencies, because what he said was the stones are a solidified form of vibrational energy. So like with the food, you still have frequency within the food, but apparently it's able to move around because the food's more of biological in nature, and it's not solidified. And so this is like solidified energy that doesn't escape as easily, or doesn't go away. And so it makes sense that it's what it eats is the environmental factors and stuff that's going on in the environment, and that's its food.
That is such a weird thought.
What did you think about him, what he was talking about, the portals and the mirrors? Remember you said that at the end of that show about Disneyland.
The haunted house?
Yeah, that was pretty weird.
I was thinking that about last night, too, and I thought, good night. Like, what is that whole haunted house? The ghost will follow you home at the end of the thing. I was saying at the end of the ride.
Yeah.
Where you go in your little car and you go past these weird looking, creepy, wavy windows, and they say this ghost will follow you home, and they project this one of 3 different hitchhiking ghosts into your car, so it's like overlaid over your face or hanging out between you and the person in the car with you. And I thought, gosh, that's kind of creepy. Like, even as a kid, that creeped me out. I'm like, what is the intention of sending home this entity? Even if it's all just like this, it's Disneyland, it's happy. I don't like them telling me a ghost is going to go home with me as a little kid. Like,
yeah,
that's not cool.
Yeah, it's funny that I never even put 2 and 2 together. I never even thought about that. I just was so intrigued by how they were able to do that. But I never thought that they were actually sending you home with a ghost.
Well, I never thought of that either. But now that I'm older and look back, I'm like, I think that's really bizarre.
It is really bizarre.
Really weird.
I mean, there must be something to it because that whole place, Disneyland, is filled with all kinds of weird
dark
symbolism and all this weird stuff that's going on at that place. It's
really sad because we live 40 minutes from Disneyland, and I'm the biggest. I mean, it's fun. I go at least once a year, but man, you were watching some documentary or reading or something? You came across a whole bunch of stuff last year. I remember that we were on this like anti-Disneyland kick for a while. We're like, I don't know if we want to go back and support that.
I started doing a whole bunch of research and studying into like this, occultic practices of media and how they insert occultic symbols in media and in flags and in all these different types of things. Our money all around the world, and different pop stars and how they're doing the Illuminati signs and so. I think in one of those videos that I watched, which was it was a lot. I watched a ton of videos about that, all during the sauna, before bed, which is always a
little nighttime story.
But I was
Uncle Walt's telling you a story before bed.
There's a lot of weird, creepy things going on with that. What's his name?
Walt Disney.
Walt Disney. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird guy.
Yeah, weird guy.
Yeah, very odd guy. You could just look him up. This stuff isn't hidden.
No.
I mean, he's just an eclectic, strange weirdo. And you go there, and it's a lot of the weird things are sort of hidden too.
Well, and then they are. I mean, they are and they aren't. Well, you just muted me. I had the conversation with, I think, our sister-in-law when I went to Disneyland with my nieces and nephews.
Oh, yeah.
And she and I were talking. It's right in your face. I mean, my gosh, when you start to just think about every single fairy tale, how creepy they are. I mean, you look back to the Hans Christian Andersen thing and just, every Disney story, it's like you're in this little kid, what do they call it, Fantasyland?
Yeah.
I mean, Peter Pan, there's like this evil, all these evil things chasing Peter Pan, trying to get him down, the guy with a hook. I mean, this is creepy stuff. Snow White and the apple, some creepy poison apple that she's being offered. I mean, everything's about like, Sleeping Beauty pricks her finger on a spindle and goes into this strange, like, trance dead state. I mean, it's dark, weird, bizarre stuff. Drinking poison. I mean, there's some weird stuff. And little kids were just like, oh, okay. Princess wear a pretty thing, and they die and they come back. Like,
yeah, there's definitely a theme to all their stories. I forget. I should, what I'll try to do? I'll try to find one of the videos that's really stood out to me that I watched back in the day, and put it on this show page 271, because there are some really weird things. Was Walt Disney involved with Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse and all that?
Oh, yeah.
He was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those stories are just really crazy.
Well, that came out in one of the documentaries we were watching about,
Sandy Hook?
Well, that too.
Yeah.
No, but they were talking about how during war times? Oh, they were using Donald Duck or something to tell people to either join the army, or if you don't pay your taxes, you're going to end up in the slammer. And it was in this cartoon of like Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck basically scaring people into doing the right thing for the government. I mean, it was just like, are you kidding me?
Really strange.
Really crazy.
That guy was weird. Yeah, so it was interesting that Tom Benedict talked about mirrors being portals. Who knows?
Really weird, huh?
I mean, it's just strange. But the power of healing stones has been I think it's even talked about in the Bible too, right? In the Old Testament, they used to have the what were the rocks that they used? But then all the gemstones, the apostle, or not the apostles, but the breastplate that they would have for the priest, the high priest that would go into the
temple.
The temple would have 12 precious stones.
Well,
and infused into the breastplate of the priest, and they would put stones all over the place. And
well, there's stones and there's numbers. I mean, those are the two things this week we worked a lot with. And it's like, you and I off the air were talking about how crazy it is. Even throughout the Bible, it's like either there's other messages deeper in the Bible with numbers and things like stones and things that we have been misreading and not utilizing to our benefit.
Right.
Or, it's just random, but I just have a really hard time thinking it's random and that we're missing the point of some of these stories.
Yeah.
We haven't looked at it in the right way, and we've been misreading them. Hey, real quick, Patty in the chat room says she discovered the work of Chris Kaler from our show and wants to get some of Tom's stones to put under Chris's energy rings to see what happens.
That's what we're going to do too.
Yeah, that's interesting. She said, what do we think? And then she said Chris told her that she could put stones or crystals in one of the rings, not sure which ring, to bring out and broadcast these frequencies, and asked which one do I use. Well, I have the neutralization ring from Chris, and I also have the sun ring. And they do definitely do different things. The neutralization ring is more, I put things in there when I want to neutralize. Like I can even put an intention written on a piece of paper, put it in the middle of it to neutralize like all negativity and things that are maybe going wrong in my body or I'm not feeling right. Sun ring is to really infuse the energy of the sun into a particular thing. So like you can supercharge your food with it. You can put your glass of water in the middle of it and feel like you're getting just more benefit from the water. So I think maybe charging I don't know, Justin, what do you think? I think charging the stones in the sun ring would be the way to add more power from the sun to them so that they're more effective.
Yeah, I think that sounds right, at least. I mean, because like you said, the sun ring and the energy neutralization ring do different things. One gets rid of bad things, and while the other one infuses the energy of the sun into it. So I would use the sun ring to put the stones into, which would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, we're going to try it too, Patty. Let us know what happens with you, because that was an experiment we're looking forward to trying with our rocks too.
Yeah, because we were watching something recently with Joe Dispenza about the placebo effect.
Yep. And
really fascinating guy, but he was talking about the placebo effect, and it's really, really incredible as far as what it can do. Just your belief in something, so people can heal from diseases, even if they're taking drugs and chemotherapy and things. Just by the fact that they believe that it's possible.
Well, let me tell everyone what happened to me yesterday. The power of belief. This is very strange.
Oh, yeah.
So I was going to meet a new friend, Amy, and she has a women's podcast that's going to be launching this month, and she's super cool. So we're going to get her involved in the Empower Women's channel as well. So I went to meet up with her after we've been emailing and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is weird.
This is really strange.
Yeah.
So to let everybody know, I've been having, some pretty funky numbers with my blood for my pancreatic, it's like a pancreatic cancer marker. And it's been dropping slowly, but when it was at its height, I mean, for about a year and a half, I would just have on and off full pancreatic spasms, like full meltdowns in there going on, like where I felt like it was full blown pancreatitis.
What did it feel like though? What happened?
Well, I'd be walking around and all of a sudden it would just feel like someone just took all the air out of your lungs and then started smashing you under your rib cage with a baseball bat and then stabbing you with a bunch of knives. Like it was that bad.
Wow.
So I'd lay on the ground and I couldn't even move, let alone it hurt to breathe. It was horrible. And they'd last for like, anywhere from 10 minutes to a half hour. You'd be sweating, you'd have chills. It was the worst thing ever.
Wow.
I'd get it sometimes at work during doing clients' hair, and I'd have to go into the back room and lay on the massage table, and I'd want to pass out. I mean,
what if someone was laying back there?
I'd lay on top of them. I would kick them off the table.
Don't mind me. You can now give me a massage.
I need this more than you do right now. No, there'd never be anyone back there.
Wow.
So anyway, that's the backstory about how much this pancreatic issue was causing me major, major pain. So I haven't had that kind of pain since I went to Austin, Texas in March to go see Dr. Nunley to get our teeth taken out. That was just a miraculous healing. And I've had all kinds of just miraculous things happen since then.
Since you got your...
Well, even before, and that's a story in itself. But before I even went and got my tooth out.
Let's talk about that too, because that's crazy.
Okay, we'll go back to that.
Okay.
So Since March, I have not had, like, I've had tiny, tiny little inklings of that pain, but nothing, and then it goes away. So last night I'm getting ready to go meet this girl, Amy, and I'm thinking, okay, what do I need to go eat? You know, we're going to probably grab a bite to eat. I wonder if I should get some digestive enzymes or not. So I'm going through our cupboard of supplements and things, and I see right up front my pancreatic enzymes and my white willow bark for pain, you know, when I had a ovarian cyst rupture this week, and it was very painful as well. And so I've been taking a lot of that, but that felt pretty good. So I'm looking through all these things going, what do I need? And I haven't been taking a lot of supplements right now. I'm giving my body a little bit of a break. So I thought, I'm not going to take anything, but do I need to take pancreatic enzymes with me? What if, for some reason, I'm a half hour from home and I have a pancreatic flare-up? Like, that would just be horrible. Out of the middle of nowhere, like, what if that happened to me and I didn't have these with me? Because they really do seem to help subside, you know, the pain. And so I thought, why would that happen? That hasn't happened since March. That's not going to happen. Closed the door, out the door, got in the car and went up there. So I meet Amy and we're at the corner bakery and thinking about getting a salad. And then we decided we're going to go to Nordstrom Cafe instead. So we walk over there. It was very hot outside yesterday. So we go into the air conditioned room and we sit down, and I can already tell I just have this amazing connection with her. I know that we're going to be friends. Just a lot in common. We're having a great old time. And the minute I sat down, I'm looking at her across the table, getting into some deep conversation. And what happens? Full-blown pancreas attack.
Don't.
Right?
Yeah. That's no good.
It lasted for about 10 minutes. It was super hard to breathe, super sharp pain. And I did not want to say to her, like, oh my gosh, I have this crazy pancreas thing. Like, I don't know what's going on. So I just, like, worked through it. And in my mind, I had so many thoughts about why this would have happened. And I'll go into those. But all I thought was, I was just praying it away. Like, leave my body. You're not welcome. You know, like, God heal my body. I am just not, like, going to go there right now, you know?
Wow.
I am meant, and I felt it was such a personal attack. Like, this is someone in my life I know I need to meet. We have a connection. This is going to be a really uplifting, amazing, great conversation that I'm going to learn and grow and just really
form a friendship with.
Yeah. And leave feeling full. And, like, the enemy wants to keep me down. And I'm like, this is ridiculous, you know? So here's my question. Like, when we were talking about the Joe Dispenza stuff, when I got home last night, I said, Justin, you wouldn't believe what happened. Like, and it went away. It was a short one. It was about 10 minutes, but it was intense. And I thought, you know, is that because, what is that? Is that the power of, like, I gave it power and I almost, like, it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy because I hadn't thought about that specific thing happening in that specific of a way that I drew it to me? Or was it that was just this, like, quote, bad, evil force out there trying to keep me from this amazing situation, and it knew my weak point and wanted to keep me down? I mean, it was wild. Why?
Yeah, why right then?
After I told myself that would never happen, why would I'm not taking these, and I just listened to my, you know, and then it's like, well, why didn't I listen to my gut? Then you have that thought too. Like, if I even thought there was an inkling that could happen, why didn't I just grab the bottle of pancreatic enzyme?
Well, too, and then why did you sabotage yourself before you even went?
Right.
You know what I mean? We were talking about that last night, is that after you got home, you were telling me the story, and, you know, did you somehow sabotage yourself with that thought? Because what did you think? You know, wouldn't it be horrible if I had a pancreatic attack and I didn't have these enzymes? So did that sort of roll the red carpet out and lay the foundation for you having this thought? Because all day long, are we not all thinking certain thoughts that may or may not contribute to some sort of symptom that becomes manifested during the day?
Right.
I mean, we're thinking about stuff, and we're thinking, you know, it's like there's one time where I had in the gym, I was lifting weights, and this was the weirdest thing. I had a migraine headache hit me in the middle of working out. I don't know did I ever tell you this?
You did. I remember this.
This was years ago, probably about 5 years ago. And it was the strangest thing that I would have this migraine headache. I was right after, you know, done lifting some heavy sets and some heavy weight. And it just completely floored me. It put me on the ground. I had to go lay down in the gym. And it was the weirdest thing because I was almost able to control it with my mind. I was able to mitigate the flow of pain that would sort of come up as a wave over the back of my neck and over my head with my mind. As long as I sat there and thought good thought the right kinds of thoughts, I could control that from happening. And so with you, did that happen? But just on a more subtle level?
I'm sure. And then what happened too is I kind of willed it away because I knew I was at that point yesterday where it's going to tip and go full on, and I'm just going to be laid up here, or it's going to go away. So I sat there really calm and talked myself down from the ledge and just like refused to go there and prayed it away, and it went away.
Wow. So
on so many levels, I mean, it's crazy.
That's wild. There's a guy, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to listen to the Hay House World Summit. It's still, is it still available to buy? I think it is.
I think so.
Oh my gosh, this is just so good. This is what I have on my iPod right now. But the last guest that I heard was Dr. David Hamilton.
Okay.
And his website is drdavidhamilton.com. And he's like the Scottish guy, but he's a PhD, and he used to be a pharmaceutical sales rep because he's a chemist, and he helped formulate and sell pharmaceutical medications until he finally woke up and realized that after some of the studies that he was doing with the medication, would find out that in some of the studies, 99% of the people, as opposed to 100, would become better just with a sugar pill. And so at that point, he kept doing research and studies in that realm, the whole placebo effect thing. And what happened was he eventually decided to step away from his job and learn more about what's going on with this placebo effect. And since then, he's written about 7 or 8 books. And he's just a fascinating guy. And if you purchase the Hay House Summit, I think it's still available for purchase. But it's extremehealthradio.com/hayhouse, HAYHOUSE. I'll put a link in the chat room.
MICKEYM. Speaking of Disneyland.
Look how much they've wrecked our subconscious.
I know. HAYHOUSE.
Nice.
We should make a commercial for Hay House. I'll get my banjo out. Just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
That's my new calling. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But he's just a really interesting guy, and he was talking about how the placebo effect is something that's not necessarily even this thing that's not very well studied, but it's actually a scientific thing. And people do get well just by believing certain things. And so it kind of gets into that same thing that Tom Benedict was talking about with the stones, is all the stuff is sort of a vibrational healing energy that happens on a subtle subconscious level, and it affects our health. It really does.
Well, that brings me to the other story then too. When we went to Austin, this is how powerful this works. I think I've told this story before, but basically I was going to get my, what do you call that?
Your root canal.
My root canal tooth extracted. Yep. Hey, I just remembered my dream last night.
Did you?
Wow. Oh my gosh. I was giving a lecture to a whole room of people about why they should have their root canal teeth pulled out.
What?
Whoa.
Well, that's
yeah.
weird.
Wow. I had everyone convinced to go run to Texas and get their teeth out. Wow.
You must see Dr. Nunley now.
Right. while I move the
the
pendulum back and hypnotize everyone. No, wow, that is crazy. Anyway, this is the weirdest to talk about. I had no intention of being as healed as I was from getting that root canal tooth out, but I was hoping that at any point going to have that done would just add to my healing process. Mm-hmm. So the minute that I got on the plane from Orange County here to go to Austin, the day I woke up, I had not had pain. I think it was March 3rd this year. I hadn't felt pain for the first time in my body in probably 2 years. No pancreatic pain, no liver pain, all this stuff. So then I'm thinking, okay, this is just going to be a blessing to get on this plane and not have a pancreatic issue in the air, and then I'll be on the ground, and if I have anything, I can get help there, that kind of thing.
Right.
And it never ended. It never ended from the minute I got on that plane, and I'm thinking what happened is it's like I had this healing happen by faith. It had already been done before I took the action step to go do the very thing that was going to heal me.
Wow.
Because since I had that tooth pulled, people have seen on our, I think you have it on our site and on our Facebook about my inflammation in my hands and things.
Yeah.
They've gotten 20 times better than when we took that picture. I barely have any symptoms left physically on my body of so much inflammation that I had going on before I got that tooth pulled.
That's crazy.
So what is that? I didn't even have that intention going onto the plane thinking that Dr. Nunley's visit was going to change my life. I hoped it would help. But it's like the minute I woke up that day, it's like the healing had been done. So I'm thinking, wow, is that my faith healed me? My faith that I was just trusting that I was getting better? I mean, it's wild stuff.
Yeah, it's funny because like I think about that verse in the New Testament where they talk about, people just wanted to touch the garment of Jesus, right? Because they thought if they could just touch him, and people would be healed from that. And it's almost like when you read that, something like that, it's almost as if there's some sort of vibrational energy that's being emitted even from his clothing or something.
Right.
But, it's fascinating too, because this guy, Dr. David Hamilton, was talking about Hay House, and we were talking last night, how, he starts getting into the quantum field and the quantum mechanics, quantum string theory and all this stuff. And he talks about how there are multiple pasts of our existence. And he was talking about all these different realities that exist all at the same time, past, present, and future. There's no such thing in the quantum world. And he gives all these studies and talks about just in great detail, much better than
It'll blow your mind, probably.
It'll blow your mind. But what he was basically saying was that there's all these different realities and different universes that exist all at the same time, all in the quantum state in different dimensions. And so what he was saying was that it's possible if you have a dream or a goal to do something and you want to do it, what's possible is that he was saying that whatever past that was in the past, if there is a past, whatever past there is that would lead to that dream being fulfilled would all of a sudden change and snap into the past that the present that you're in. So your past would actually change. And he gave the example of the experiments with the slit of paper and sending a beam of light through two slits of paper. And the beam of light would either be a wave or it would be a particle. And it wasn't until they had done this experiment 30, 40 years ago, I think, but it wasn't until recently that they were able to actually find out whether or not the beam was a particle or a wave before it goes through that slit, because after it goes through that slit, it changes. And so what they were able to determine was the past would change based on the current person's viewing of that experiment at the end to determine whether or not it was a wave or a particle. And so the conclusion that all these quantum physicists are making is that our past can literally change and snap into the past that we needed to have in order for this future dream to occur, which is really weird, right? I mean, it's just, but if the quantum theory and all this stuff is true, which it is true, because on a subatomic level, this is how the universe works. Things change based on our perception of them. And, and so all this stuff is really true. If you read any book on quantum, Brian Greene's got some good books. Schrodinger's Cat is another great book I read years ago.
What is that?
It's called Schrodinger's Cat.
What does that mean? That's a guy's name?
Yeah, that was the name of a physicist back in the 1900s, and he put together this thought experiment of this cat that was inside of a box, and I think I linked to it on one of my previous articles. But basically, the cat was inside the box. I'm going to butcher this, but there's a lot of intricacies to this. But the cat is inside the box, and the person's outside looking to see if the gas that's in the room that's surrounding the box is going to kill the cat. And so the idea is, before you look at the cat, is the cat alive or is the cat dead? But according to quantum theory, quantum mechanics, the cat has no state until you look at it. The cat is a stateless form until you actually look at it. So the cat becomes alive or it becomes dead based on you observing it at that point. So that
I've heard that.
Yeah. So
then it gets into the whole tree in the forest falling,
yeah.
Wow.
So with all of that sort of happening in the background on a subatomic level in our world, what's going on with you having that waking up? Did your tooth somehow know that it was going to be extracted? Did your body somehow on a vibrational frequency level know that this was going to happen, that you were going to get healing, and so it decided to heal before you even got there and got to take it out? Right?
I'm going to go with because that's what that's what seemed to be true in this case. But
isn't that strange?
Well, then I wondered too, like what would have happened had I woke up that day feeling the healing, amazed by it, and then bailed on the trip and didn't go get my tooth out? Would I have had the same outcome?
Oh, wow. That's weird.
I totally wonder that, because that's how healed I felt. Was it just the fact that my head and my faith had gone there, Yeah. And yet it wasn't about the tooth at all, even though it was.
That is so strange. So it's almost like happening in the future, in the past, all at the same time.
Totally.
It knows that you're going to go. And so that's why our thoughts, I think, are so powerful, so critical. Because when you were going last night to meet your friend and you thought about having a pancreatic pain, I mean, if all this stuff is true on a quantum subconscious level, then it would make sense that you would manifest that thought in order for you to need the enzymes, in order for you to have the strength to get through it, in order for you to understand everything that happened as it did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was a little heavy last night. I got home going, I'm just going to lay on the Biomat and peace out for a while because this is just too much. And then apparently when I go to relax, I couldn't even do that. I was getting lectures in my dreams last night about your root canal teeth.
Hey, what happened last night on the Biomat? Didn't you say that you said, hey, did you call my name? And I said, no.
Oh, that was weird.
What happened? What was that about?
Well, I had my earphones in, listening to just my really mellow Zen music before bed.
Uh-huh.
And I asked you to set a timer for 20 minutes, and my music was really loud. So sometimes when you call me, I'm out, and you'll say, like, Kate, and you'll say it like 3 times. I'm like, oh, okay. And it'll startle me.
Yeah, you wake up.
Yeah, well, I was like in that dream state on the Biomat, and it was probably right around 20, and I heard, hey, Kate, it's time. And so I put my ear, and I took my earpiece out, and I said, hey, is it time? Did you call me? And you said, no, I didn't call you. I'm like, okay, either I'm hearing things or
some spirit, some entity is, I've got a new best friend.
Walt Disney was in my head. I don't know.
Walt Disney's back from the dead. Back from his cryogenically
He's out of the haunted house
state.
and now he's in my brain. That was really weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a crazy
Well, I've
thing.
been having stuff like that lately too, where I'll hear my alarm before it goes off. I'll think I hear my alarm clock going off, and I'll wake up and I'll look over, and it's like 3 minutes before it goes off, and it wasn't even ringing.
Yeah, that happens. That happens a lot. Peter Ragnar talks about that. He'll talk about how he'll tell his body, he'll do all these intentions before he goes to sleep. Probably right after his moonlight Qigong with the magnetic thunderbolts. But he'll do all these intentions before he goes to bed. He'll tell himself that he's going to get the most amazing sleep. He'll think about what he wants to dream about, and he'll have those dreams. He'll tell himself that he's not going to get up to go to the bathroom, and he doesn't.
Wow.
And he'll tell himself he'll wake up at a certain time, and he wakes up right at that second. It's pretty weird. What is that all about?
I don't know, but I was listening to, speaking of Hay House, I was listening to one by Christiane Northrup, Dr. Northrup.
Oh yeah, I'm on her right now.
She's so good. That didn't sound good.
Well, depends how you define the word on.
We've had a lot of silly things like that this week where I'm like putting my foot in my mouth. No, but she was talking about how she did talk about the every 7 years, every single cell in your body being replaced. You probably haven't got to this point yet.
Oh no, I haven't heard that.
But she talks about how every cell is completely rejuvenated, and it's, the old cells are gone. It's a complete new set of cells in these 7-year cycles. But she was saying, with that knowledge, every day you wake up, when you look in the mirror, it's kind of like, remind yourself that you're a new set of cells. I mean, you're a constant change out of these cells, and, what happened to you yesterday, what you've held on to, what you believe to be true about your health, or anything that you believe is different than it. It's like every day it was a clean slate, a starting over, not only in your mind and your positivity and the way that you view the world, but it's actually physically your cells have replaced the old ones, the old dead dying ones, and you have that option every day to tell yourself, I'm a new this is a new beginning every day.
Wow.
And even though we've heard that before, it just really put a beautiful new spin on it for me. So I thought, if that was true yesterday and I had that little pancreatic flare up, it doesn't mean it's true today. And I'm going to tell myself and have the belief that that today I don't have any. My pancreas is perfect. It's It's 100% perfect. It's
Wow.
It's healing. It is healed. I'm just going to claim that and have that faith, and there go I.
Yeah, it's fascinating. You didn't hear this show, I don't think yet, Kate. Jonathan Tripodi.
Oh gosh, I cannot believe I haven't heard that.
Yeah, Body Memory, Freedom from Body Memory, I think is his book or his website. I forget what episode he's at or he's on, but really interesting guy. And he said, you know what? The weird thing is that if we have, because a lot of our organs will actually rebuild themselves before 7 years, but 7 years is sort of the outer limit of all of our cells having rejuvenated. And so some rejuvenate in 2 years, 1 year, 4 years, 6 years, but in 7, it's pretty
like
much
a full cycle.
Yeah, accepted that your entire body has been rebuilt. And so what he was saying was, why do people have pain and injury for more than 7 years? And the reason why is because those emotional traumas and the energetic frequency is actually being stored in that local area where the pain is.
It's trapped in there.
It's trapped in there, and it makes sense. It's really just interesting idea of why that happens and how frequency affects the body.
Wow.
Really weird. And just like what you were saying, you could wake up every day and have that thought and have that feeling that you are a new person.
You are. And I think your body will react toward that accordingly.
Yeah.
Since I'm the hostess today of Extreme Health Radio episode 272, I'm going to call a break time because I have to go potty. But I was going to say, when we get back from the break, everyone, I would like to further discuss a situation yesterday with you, Justin, how off the air we talked with Tom about maybe a 4 year ago experience that he sensed in you, and talk about, maybe flesh that out a little bit, along with an interesting concept that was brought up last night with my friend Amy when I was speaking with her about your past and a past emotional and physical issue.
Ooh, do I want to open up about my past here?
I think you do.
Do I need to get on a couch?
Yeah. The orange couch is waiting.
Okay.
So I just think that would be really interesting to share.
Okay, cool.
If you'd like to.
I would like to.
Okay. So everyone, we are going to take a break, and we will be back right after this message.
I have to say, I have been absolutely loving this product by Tristan Truscott and Peter Ragnar called Good Morning, Good Evening Qigong. If you want to listen to the interview we did with Tristan, you can go to extremehealthradio.com/127. And Qigong is a great way to de-stress the body. And as you know, there's a huge component to disease caused by stress. And stress is a huge factor in how we live our lives and the amount of energy we have and the amount of vitality we have. And so, Dr. Shade, what do you think about Qigong?
People come to me and they're really sick and they got this blown out neurological system and all this toxicity. And I tell them, you need to do Qigong, Tai Chi. You need to do these things that settle down and restore your neurology, because it puts together all the parts. It puts you back into that state where you can start to detoxify. And so I highly, highly recommend all that.
And what about you, Kit Campbell? What do you think about Qigong? Do you like it as well?
Qigong is amazing. And the reason that I believe it to be amazing is everything here is energy. That is a scientific fact, if there ever is one. So when you're practicing Qigong, you're actually drawing energy into your body. Your intention, whatever your intention is behind any action, will determine the level of energy, type of energy that you absorb into your body. So your intention behind is very important, just like thought. So when you're practicing Qigong, you're actually bringing energy in and you're bringing out the stuff that might be a bit stale. With Tai Chi, it's totally different. The energy runs underneath the skin because it's more of a martial. This is the Chinese understanding, by the way. It's more of a martial art. So Qigong is very, very good for bringing that energy into the body, and just fantastic.
If you're interested in picking up this Qigong course by Tristan Truscott and Peter Ragnar, go to extremehealthradio.com/Qigong. That's QIGONG. And you can learn more about it. There's a great video on that page, and you can learn more about it on that page. And I highly, highly recommend this product. I love it myself, so go ahead and check that out. extremehealthradio.com/Qigong. Sometimes busy lifestyles and easy access to processed foods prevent us from getting all the nutrition we need to maintain our well-being. If you are in need of an energy and immune system boost, you have to try Hawaiian Spirulina. Hawaiian Spirulina is a caffeine-free way to boost your energy levels without the later energy crash. Pure Hawaiian Spirulina Pacifica is an easy way to support your health and is the most nutritious whole food supplement known to mankind. Cultivated on the pristine Kona coast in Hawaii, this superfood is packed with over 100 nutrients in each serving to support your natural energy levels and boost your immunity. Try Hawaiian Spirulina today and feel the difference. Save 25% off your Spirulina order today by using the coupon code JUSTIN at extremehealthradio.com/Nutrex, Nutrex. That's extremehealthradio.com/Nutrex.
100% listener supported. Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Don't forget to join our thriving community for health tips, inspiration, and show updates at extremehealthradio.com/Facebook.
I learned a very valuable lesson at the break.
Uh-oh. What do you got?
When you're the host, or hostess in this case,
yes,
you can't go stuff your mouth with chocolate, raw chocolate, and coconut chips, and then walk away and forget the time to check the timing. I was still planning on you doing that.
I know. See, you can't do this.
So apparently I need to step up my A game here.
That's why we make the big bucks.
Right.
That's right.
Well, everyone, if you'd like to know any more about that Qigong,
Yes.
we love it.
Good stuff.
Really good stuff. I see Amber Marie in the chat room says as soon as her abundance keeps flowing into her life more, she will get the Qigong. She really wants it. And we highly recommend it. I mean, it is a really amazing course.
So professionally well done. And we had a question from someone who purchased it this week, and they wanted to know, I forget who it was, but really nice. But he wanted to know about the Qigong, and he said, I've been going to the library, and I got all the Qigong courses, and I have to sit through them and have them explain what Qigong is and what Qigong does and all this stuff. And he wanted something that he could just follow along with. And I totally understand that, because you don't want to be watching hours and hours of video just to do a 10-minute thing,
Right.
And so the course that we offer with Tristan, if you're interested in, is episode 127 is where we talk with him. But it offers both. There's 2 videos in the morning and 2 videos in the evening for 3 weeks. And then after that, there are these videos called the power sessions, which are 10 minutes long each. And you just do a 10-minute one in the morning and a 10-minute one in the evening.
See, I like those because it's like popping in a yoga video where you just follow along and it's just mindless. You just,
Yeah.
go. You don't have to do much thinking other than just repeating what it is that you're seeing.
Cool. It's cool because it's laid out in a way that each week for 3 weeks you do the course, and it's got 2 videos for morning, 2 videos for evening, and one of the 2 videos is a private session where he explains things and stuff. And then the second video is a follow-along video where you just simply follow along. It's like what you just said. So it's got kind of the education as well as the follow-along all together in one. It's just an awesome course.
It's really good.
Yeah, so professionally done. And Tristan's awesome. We spent a lot of time talking with him, and
he's so cool.
Yeah, he's
just a really good guy.
Yeah, he's from
Texas.
How could you not?
Or he lives in Texas. I don't think he's from. It's not from.
No,
he's from Malibu.
Yeah, he's from Malibu.
But how could he be a bad guy?
I know, right?
So there's during the break, I was thinking, there's nowhere else I'd rather be on a Friday morning. This is so much fun.
You like it, huh?
Yeah, this is so great. I mean, we're talking about everything from Walt Disney's head being frozen to a ghost following us home to putting stones in our energy rings.
I know, right?
It was pretty fun. I love it. I love it.
I know, it's cool.
So before the break,
yeah, what do you got,
Justin?
Host?
Put you in the seat over there. Put you in the hot seat. Well, I found it really interesting that off the air yesterday with Tom from tomstones.org.
We did a little session with him.
We did. He actually offered. He said during one of the breaks we had taken, he did a little stone reading
for us,
and just kind of delved into finding out what stones would be best for us. on different levels. And he came across an interesting one for you. He said,
what did he say?
He asked you what had happened maybe 4 years ago, a trauma or a loss or a death or something kind of big that he felt like you needed to kind of rebuild. I don't know what it was. Was it some healing stone? We have it written down, the one that we're getting in the mail for that one. But you were trying to dig back and think, nothing really hit you. Like, you didn't lose anyone important 4 years ago. It didn't seem like anything major trauma had happened. But I think what we came up with was this. It
was interesting, yeah, because he said that, and that would have been 2010. And I thought, in 2004, one of my best friends committed suicide.
Yeah.
And that was just, changed a lot of, my stuff and just and how I dealt with life and looked at life and all that. That was 2004. So then there was like 2010. I didn't really know. But then I thought, what happened in 2010 was that's when we started. Basically, I think that's when we had the idea for Extreme Health Radio. Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Yeah.
We had the idea for it, and then we launched it. I think I launched it as a blog in 2011, and then launched a radio show in 2012. But 2010 was where I had the idea of doing this type of thing, because I'd done other types of online businesses and things like that, and nothing seemed to work out, and nothing seemed to work really that well, and I couldn't figure out why, and I just knew that it wasn't. It was because I wasn't aligning my desire to take care of my family with my passions, and so I had these two separate worlds that were going on. And it just wasn't lining up. It wasn't working. And everything I was doing wasn't working.
While you saw me hating my job.
Yeah.
Having to be the breadwinner, while you tried to, do you follow your passion or do you go out and, quote, get a real job,
Yeah. That was really hard because...
That was a stressful time.
That was very stressful and really tough. And there was just a lot of turmoil, and I hated to see you go to work like that. And, for a while there, I took different jobs, and all of those weren't a good fit for me. And so I was doing all these different things, and I had skills, and I was trying to figure out where where my passion was, trying to figure out where my role was. And so all this stuff happened in 2010. That's basically the entire launch of Extreme Health Radio. And so it makes a lot of sense that I had this, this really interesting time of turmoil and stress, and hoping that this new idea that I had, which is Extreme Health Radio, hoping that would work out.
Yeah.
And
so, also being really hoping it would, but being fearful that you might not like it. Because I remember ordering that equipment thinking, you said that's a really big investment with money we don't have for me not to like this.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of pressure you put on yourself. And
yeah, because it was basically, I had no skills as a radio show host, and I've never taken any classes or training, never formally trained in radio, and never taking any real speech classes, and not, having stuttered as a child, and I couldn't speak correctly, and having all these things going on. But I knew I had a passion. I knew I wanted to help people. And so, we invested a few $1,000s in equipment and computers.
Which was a ton.
And microphones.
At that time, for sure.
Yeah. And so, I had no idea of knowing whether or not we would buy these things. I would do 5 interviews and just tell you, this isn't for me. Mm-hmm. Then what do? We've got, thousands of dollars worth of radio equipment and a studio with no desire to continue on. And so that was a big risk. That was a real big time in my life where I was taking a step out in faith and hoping that it would work and hoping I would like it. Because it's one thing to be really, really good at something, but then also you just sort of hate it.
Yeah.
What if you're really good at something, but you just don't like it at all? Or what if you love it, but you're no good at it, and people don't like you, people don't like your personality, or people don't like certain things about, the way you set up your thing. And so there was all these different things happening, and they were all sort of going on subtly on a subconscious level around 2010, which is exactly when he said that something traumatic happened to you, which is
and it was
strange.
It's just that you had to look a little deeper, you know what I mean, to find what that was,
because it wasn't like he said, or what most people might think was some sort of car accident or some sort of traumatic, someone dies or something,
a loss like that.
But it was, yeah.
But it was a very tumultuous time, and that's traumatic.
Weird, huh?
Yeah. So that little stone, though, is apparently going to also help you with, on the therapeutic level, of still recovering from some of those past emotions, I think.
Yeah.
And then what was interesting too, I thought last night, was when I met with my new friend Amy, I forget how it came up, but
what's her website, by the way? Do we know? We'll put it on the show
notes. Why am I blanking? I'll put it on the show notes.
Yeah, we'll put it on the show notes.
Her podcast hasn't officially launched yet, but it will be in July. We'll also go through or link her to the Empower Women's.
Oh, cool.
She's great, though. But she brought up a really interesting point because she was asking about how we started with Extreme Health Radio and kind of our story. And it came up about how you had a heart issue that they found when you were in high school. And like all through your childhood, you were pretty seemingly fine. And then you started playing basketball in high school, right? And you started passing out and things like that.
I had dreams of becoming a white Michael Jordan.
And you would have been. But Extreme Health Radio wouldn't have been coming down the turnpike.
Minus 6 inches in height.
Right? Hey, you were good, though. I know you were. You could still shoot a hoop.
Oh, yeah.
But I know at that point in your story is when you kind of, had to give up that dream, and that must have been pretty horrible, as well as you weren't feeling well. So they put you on all kinds of blood thinners or beta blockers. And
beta blockers, medication.
You were on those for years, weren't you?
For a couple of good couple of years, and they had me quit, which is really the best thing, because now looking back, I've discovered through different research I've done that the reason why people are dying or did die, a lot of people back in the 90s were keeling over. A lot of high school kids, football players and basketball players, and even some pro guys too. They were dying, and they were on these beta blockers. And it was the beta blockers combined with the high heart rate.
I remember you. Yep.
And so you would have had a less chance of dying, having a heart attack, if you weren't on the beta blockers, if you were playing basketball. And so the combination of the two is what is the recipe that would kill these people. And Reggie Lewis, I think, was a guy that died. There was a bunch of people that amateur players, football players, and people were dying a lot. And they were diagnosed with the exact same condition that I had, which was hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. And they had me on doing all these testings, and it was my first sort of foray. Probably 2 years before my mom had cancer. And so it was my first sort of foray into the medical industry and how all that whole system works.
Sure.
Crazy.
What was even interesting, though, so I was telling all this to Amy last night over, at Nordstrom Cafe, and I said, what was even weirder is Justin was actually a twin, because your mom carried you and your brother, and then I don't remember at what time your twin had passed away.
I think he passed away 6 months into pregnancy.
So 6 months.
Yeah.
So I was telling that to her, and she said, "Oh my gosh!" And I said, I was wondering if that also had to do with your heart condition that you might have been born with, and it didn't surface until you became a teenager. Wow. And she said, "Well, no wonder." I mean, she pointed out something really interesting. She said, "No wonder it was a heart thing." Imagine that connection he had at that age to his brother. I mean, you knew fully what was going on to be connected. I mean, having a twin is the closest you can get to, having a duplicate of yourself. And I'm sure, twins say that they're connected on so many energetic levels. It's, not even funny.
Right.
So to have that twin be, dead basically, and you even hanging out in the womb with, you were probably a grieving baby, knowing that that twin wasn't alive.
Oh, I'm sure.
Wasn't going to be with you, So the birth process, I'm sure that's why the heart was what it affected when you start reading all the things that, particular ailments and situations are connected to. I mean, doesn't that make the most sense? It
does. Because I think hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a hardening. Not hardening, but a thickening of the walls of the heart.
Right.
Which doesn't allow blood to come through. You know what? I bet who would be able to really get to the bottom of that issue would be Dr. Richard Massey with his work in family constellation therapy.
Yep.
That would be interesting.
Yep.
I would love to. Maybe next time we're there, we go visit his home. We'll pop in and see if we can do a session with him.
Because I know he really helped me work through some stuff with my family and things. But what was even more interesting, I mean, that whole story was interesting to kind of put that all together. And I thought about it, but not really to that extent. And the heart being, because it's like you grieving a loss. But I thought, gosh, wouldn't that be, it was so fascinating that when we went to the Dayton Medical Center in, what was
Florida?
That? No, but in December. Yeah.
Oh, December. Yeah.
They did a full body ultrasound on you, and they couldn't find one inkling of that. you had been told you were either misdiagnosed with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy or you had never had it.
Yeah.
You had never had it or it healed. I'm sorry. Those were the two things.
Yeah.
And people just don't really get healed of that. I remember your traditional heart doctor saying that maybe that's, something that seems to kind of go on the back burner. It lays low, but it's always there. But this guy was like, I've been doing ultrasounds and it was like a 2-hour ultrasound. And he said, no, I mean, you have the most perfect working heart. So that was a really cool story.
Yeah, he said that he's been doing them for 25 years, these ultrasounds, and like you said, the one
so in depth.
Yeah, the one we had was 2 hours or more, and he went through every organ for a half hour or something, just crazy amount of time, 20 minutes to 15, 20 minutes on one organ, and he'd look at it from all these different angles, and he told me that basically I have no sign of that at all. My heart is completely healthy. And it's crazy because until then, I'd been walking around with this sort of this sort of idea in my head that my heart was
like a curse.
It was like a curse. My heart was, not as healthy as the guy that I'm walking past down the street. Oh, that guy's got a healthier heart than I do.
Mm-hmm. And you were told certain things too, like you'll never be able to run a marathon. Don't exhaust yourself too much. Don't go to too high of altitudes on major mountain hikes.
Yeah.
So you went around carrying this throughout your whole childhood and early adult, going, I'm limited.
Yeah, I'm limited.
I'm broken.
I'm not as good.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really a strange thing, and so I'm not sure if it healed itself. I'm sure that that's what happened because I'm sure they didn't diagnose it incorrectly. But that's possible too. Anything's possible. But having these things, whenever we're diagnosed with something, whether you're listening, and you're diagnosed with some sort of cancer, some sort of disease, challenge that you have, it's important to know that we don't have to carry that with us. We don't have to carry that. And also, the diagnosis is only a snapshot in time. Weren't you saying something about that?
Recently about my blood work, with the pancreatic cancer marker thing.
Yeah.
I'm like that. We asked Dr. Kelly, who I'm working with now, my naturopath down in Encinitas, Dr. Kim Kelly, he's amazing. Mm-hmm. And you said during that appointment that we had with him, you said, hey, Doc, isn't it true that blood work is important, but it's also just a snapshot in time? And he said, absolutely. That's all that is. It could be different day to day, It's like if someone were to take a picture of you, 10 minutes later, you're not that same person. Your cells, maybe the cell that was in your face is now in your arm. Right.
You know what I mean? It's like your cells moving around. We're constantly moving and changing and evolving. Mm-hmm. And every second is different from any other second. Our bodies are different. And so, maybe that diagnosis was just a snapshot in time. And so whenever we have that, we don't have to necessarily take it with us and carry it with us energetically, like I did for many years. And Dr. Northrup.
Yeah,
Dr. Northrup was saying on a Hay House summit that she said that what was it? A lot of people with breast cancer. There's a lot of people that die with diseases and cancers and things, but not from them.
Yes, the percentage. I don't want to misquote this, but it was some crazy high percentage of females who had unfortunately died in car accidents that they did autopsies on, and this crazy high percentage
it was like 60 or 70%.
It was really up there.
It was really high.
Had tumors or some sort of cancer in their breasts, and they never would have died with them. And it never would have killed them. Didn't even know about them, and they weren't growing. They were just there.
And most likely, the body would have just dispelled it and gotten rid of it, depending on their lifestyle. And the people that weren't able to get rid of the cancers, it would show up as a diagnosis, and then they'd be diagnosed with that condition. But a lot of the people died and didn't even know they had cancer. It happens. And so I think it's important.
That's pretty powerful, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's really important to not own your diagnosis. Easier said than done, right?
Right. Right. But to be able to have the opportunity to train your brain to react like that, like I'm loving the opportunity because this is not a natural way for me to think and be, and I'm constantly being challenged and being put in a place where I'm given the option to react my old way or to forge a new way and create a new groove in my brain. And every time I do it, it just gives me so much more power. It's so empowering. Empowering.
So what ways have you done that?
Well, with every little ache and pain and strange blood work I get back, I have the option to run back to my quote safe zone and want to run a slew of more tests
and worry.
I mean, where does that get anybody, right? It's like, what they say? It's like worry is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but you don't go anywhere.
Nice.
I love that.
Nice.
I love that.
Did you make that up?
Oh, no. No. But that has always spoken to me. I love that. But gosh, I feel like I'm just being handed challenge after challenge and nothing, I mean, there are some that are harder than others, but I'm reacting very, very different to things than I used to. And wow, Maggie is not letting you roll your chair forward.
She is not budging.
She's rolled a little ball and she won't let you. She's so cute.
Yeah, it's interesting because whenever we're faced with something that's either a challenge to our own health or a challenge to our mental outlook on how we live out different aspects of our lives, we're always given that choice. Do we act in the way that we've always acted and get the same results we've always gotten, or can we choose to rise above that and act in a different way that creates a new mental pattern and a new mental groove, and new neurons can be connected in our brains and actually can help rewire how we live our life and everything we attract and everything that we bring into our life. It's just with every moment we're given that opportunity to act a certain way. Yeah. And it's not easy, is it?
No. It's a constant challenge. But that's where the real growth is happening. That's where I'm seeing myself completely change. I mean, honestly, the old me a year ago even would have been like, I want to believe all this stuff on our show. I would love to go the route that the guests that we have are, suggesting, but I'm too scared. And now I'm like, what do I have to lose? This stuff really works. Yeah. This really works for me. And I'm not afraid anymore. I feel like this bubble, I've just been in this bubble of fear my whole life. And it's like, I finally found that I could poke my finger through it and it popped. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yet the bubble, I didn't know I was in one. Everything looked clear and everything just seemed like this is the way you do life. And then I've realized this has just been completely a joke.
Why so much fear with everybody? It's such a thing, isn't it? Man, I mean, there's so much fear going around with everybody. It's just, it's hard to overcome that, isn't it? Because we're so programmed in our culture. We're so taught by everybody to be fearful and afraid of what other people will think about you and afraid of their judgments of you and afraid of what might happen if I do this. So much fear, We're all just little sad, fearful people running around. That's why I feel like shows like this and hopefully the Empower Women's channel too. I mean, that's the whole point, is empower people to take the reins back. Like, take it back and claim it, because what you're doing isn't what I've been doing hasn't been working. And here I've I've been learning for 35 years, but something happened very pivotal where there's just a whole world of possibility that I never knew existed, and I'm taking it back. I like it.
Yes, so we are going to take another little break.
Oh, okay.
And
it's time to do that.
Thanks everybody in the chat room for being so kind to me.
See.
You guys are so nice. That's what. By the way, Amber Marie said I needed a new DJ name because I'm the hostess today.
Oh, okay.
And she dubbed me DJ Enzyme because I'm always breaking it down.
Nice. DJ Enzyme.
And I have a new name for you, thanks to Patty. DJ Cabana Boy.
Cabana Boy. Is that good or bad? I don't know.
I don't know, but
depends how you look at Cabana Boys.
If you don't have a shirt on and you're bringing me a mojito, I'm okay with
I'm
that.
fanning you.
Palm fronds and grapes.
That is hilarious.
No, when we get back, though, I want to share with everybody a little bit about one more reason to get out of my job 100%.
Oh.
So I will share that right after this break.
And I've got some ideas about, some thoughts about the show we did with Adam Bergstrom in Numbers.
Awesome.
So
thanks for hanging with. Yeah, we'll get into that too.
Okay.
Thanks for hanging with us on Free for All Friday, Freaky Friday, where we change positions every now and then. And I am the DJ Enzyme, coming at you live 9 a.m. 4 days a week. And
what days?
Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
You had the little thing.
And we'll be right back after these messages.
The history of heat therapy dates back over 2,400 years, and it was Hippocrates who said, "Give me the power to produce fever, and I will cure all disease." This FDA-approved medical device called the Biomat is a mat that you can lay on, read on, sleep on, do yoga on, sit on, and it can be used on office chairs, massage tables, and the like to help the body heal itself. It's inlaid with 30 pounds of healing crystals using amethyst and a rare black tourmaline, producing negative ions in a healing electrical field. These healing crystals help to restore cellular health by replacing electrons to the atoms, as well as penetrating deep into the body by 4 to 6 inches. What can the Biomat do for you? It'll improve your skin, burns as many calories as if you went jogging for 30 minutes. It improves the immune system by up to 40% or more, reduces stress and fatigue, removes toxins, lowers cholesterol, relieves pain, revitalizes cellular metabolism. It improves cell channels to deliver nutrients and oxygen to every one of your cells. It activates over 3,000 enzymes. And even a Harvard medical study showed cancer cells die at over 42 degrees Celsius. It reduces stress hormones by up to 78%. It allows your body to produce heat shock proteins, which increases endorphins, NK cells, T cells, and lymphocytes. It's very, very low EMF, and it's got a 17-layer technology. Dr. Mark Serkis is the director of the International Medical Veritas Association. Explain to us more about these biomats.
These biomats are these far infrared mattresses. You lay on them, or you sleep on them, or both. You do very heavy treatments during the day, and at night you sleep at just a nice comfortable temperature. These biomats are like these love machines, comfort machines, and healing machines, because what they do is they just radiate out light, far infrared light, and you can radiate yourself all night long while you're sleeping when you're not doing anything else. And what happens is this light penetrates the body and turns to heat. And the first thing that happens when you bring your core body temperature up 1 degree is your immune system strength increases by 40-50%. They feel when you lay down on them, you guys know, you have one. So it's like the feeling is so good. It's like being in the cuddling with a lover, your wife or husband. It's just warmth and comfort.
How are you using biomats for patients in your clinics?
The cancer treatment using heat is very aggressive, meaning during the day, you sandwich yourself in between two of them, turn it on to high heat, and bake the cancer. The cancer will die before you will. No, this is, you can awesome. Go to England and spend $20,000 and use microwave a cancer out of existence. These biomats basically do the same thing. Radiation therapy for cancer is really a solid idea. Unfortunately, oncologists use the wrong radiation. They use radiation that kills you. This biomat uses radiation that can save your life and make your life more comfortable, keep you warm in the cold, and help take care of your kids and all. The list doesn't end.
Yeah, because isn't there some sort of temperature at which cancer cells will start dying?
Right, and it's below the temperature that human cells will die.
So you really like this biomat far infrared technology, don't you?
But it's strengthened me. Well, now the kids are addicted to it. They fight on who's going to sleep on it at night. And it not only changed my life, but it changed my medical practice and my books. This is a great machine for anybody who lives in the cold during the winter. Instead of heating a big house, you just heat yourself. Bottom line, it brings good feelings. Just lay on this biomat, and it gives the strength back.
I can attest to that indeed. Kate and I love ours, and we think you will too. Learn more about these amazing biomats at extremehealthradio.com/biomat. Or you could check them out in our store as well. Again, that's extremehealthradio.com/biomat.
All free shows, all the time on Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Join our community today. Sign up to our email list and instantly get our free gift to you, along with loads of inspirational content and cutting-edge tips to help change your life at extremehealthradio.com/subscribe.
Well, DJ Enzyme and Cabana Boy
Justin. That's me.
Took a little break, and we are back here.
Cabana Boy, Justin, and DJ Enzyme. I
love it. DJ Enzyme.
Not DJ Scribble.
Who's DJ Scribble? You always talk about that. What is that?
It's your friend Christy's favorite DJ.
DJ Scribble?
No, I'm sorry.
Cascade.
That's Cascade.
House music. Come on.
DJ Scribble, I think, is from MTV.
There you go.
From the 90s.
You've said that reference probably 8,000 times since I've known you, and every time I have to ask you, who the heck is DJ Scribble?
DJ Scribble.
Yeah. Should I put him in the show notes?
No, we're going to say Cabana Boy Justin.
Cabana Boy Justin.
DJ Time.
I just thought of something.
What's that?
How come you're not taking notes? This is Freaky Friday.
Oh, yeah, I am. I took 2 notes.
Oh. Okay, I've taken 2 pages.
That's true. I
say next Friday we give this another shot, or maybe next month.
There you go.
And you can take the notes.
There you go.
So if anybody has any questions about the Biomat, we love ours, and apparently very strange things happen to you at nighttime before sleep. You hear things, you go into trances.
It's strange, isn't it?
It puts you on a whole other planet, and I love it.
Yeah, it's really a fascinating thing. You lay on that thing, and it takes about 15 minutes, then you're just you're out, but you're not. You're awake.
You're very aware, but you're like out. It's very, very strange.
The weirdest thing is you get this thing, and if you have a massage table, I would highly recommend getting one of those. We have ours on the ground, but it would be much better to have like a massage table or do it in bed. But you get this thing and you lay on it, and you don't think anything is that strange about it, do you?
You're like, this is nice and warm, like a heating pad.
Yeah, it's like a big, heating pad, but there's a lot more to it. But you think, there's nothing really much to this.
Yeah.
Until
the 15-minute marker.
Yeah, right around, for me, it's about 15 to 20 minutes. It's really strange. You start, I don't know what it is. It's like it puts you into a trance-like state. Because I think the negative ions are coming up through the crystals in it.
It's very healing.
And it's very healing, and it's sending up this far infrared light, which is different than a heating pad. A heating pad is just regular light. This is far infrared light. It just takes you into another place. It's so strange.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
Me too. Yeah, I get sad. Like, we're going to leave, next month for a week with my family.
Yeah.
To the lake for a summer break. And I want to bring it with us, but you said that might be a little much. Our families already think we're a little crazy.
Yeah.
But we don't care what they think of us, because we have a new leaf we're turning over.
That's right. We've
turned the leaf.
Yeah, we don't care.
Anyway, it is an amazing machine. So if anybody ever wants to buy one or interested, you can email us and ask us more, or feel free to go on the website and
extremehealthradio.com/biomat.
Correct.
That's correct.
So let's see. What were we were going to ask you something. I was going to talk about another reason to quit my job.
Oh, I had some thoughts about Adam Bergstrom.
Oh, that's right. What were your thoughts?
And remember how he was talking
Break
about...
it down, Cabana
Boy. About how, he was saying that when you give your age out to people, on a cellular level, it breaks you down, right? Mm-hmm. And when you say, I'm 45 years old, I'm 50 years old, or whatever it is, he was saying that on a cellular level and on an energetic level, it actually breaks down your cells, and it breaks down your energetics a little bit. And he's done this different types of muscle testing, and no one tests strong when they say their age. And so he was going on about about saying how instead of saying your age, I mean, people, if you're talking to people who don't understand any of this stuff, they're going to think you're crazy.
Right.
But if you understand really the cyclical nature of life and of existence, how everything works in circles, he was saying to say, I'm 32 revolutions around the sun, or I'm 45 revolutions around the sun, because it doesn't give this finite linear start, stop, beginning, and ending to life. It makes it part of a circle, part of a cycle. And so, and when he was talking about how numbers break us down, and I started thinking about in the gym,
Death by Numbers.
Wow, that's a book right there. But I started thinking about in the gym, I count things a lot. I'll count the amount of reps I do, I'll count the amount of weight I do, or if I'm on the rebounder, I'll have a little stopwatch and I'll make sure that I do 20 minutes every day. Or if I walk Maggie, I like to know how long she's gotten to walk. So I love timing things.
And calculating things.
Yeah, and so he was saying that anytime you work with numbers, they're a man-made thing. And although the universe works on mathematics and the principles of mathematics, the idea of numbers and applying them to your life actually breaks us down. And so we were talking after the show yesterday or 2 days ago. We're like, what? How does all this start with kids?
I was saying, I think it was even
up.
right after the Adam Bergstrom show. We were in the kitchen making smoothies, and I said, well, no wonder we have this issue with numbers from the minute that we're, in jobs. You're clocking in, you're punching a time card, you have a 20-minute break, or when you're a teenager and you get your first job, you're run by this clock. And I was relating it to my job as well. Like, I've lived by a schedule book on the minute, on the hour, every hour for 15 years. And it's like, no wonder. 15-minute increments. And I thought, there's something to this number thing that just seems to be breaking us down, and it's not healthy. And then I was like, oh my gosh, no, this doesn't start with your job and your adult life. This starts in kindergarten. Right. It starts the minute you go to school. Everything's like a time schedule, You got
to be there at 8:00, and then you
better not be late.
Better not be late.
When you hear a bell at break, you got to run in, or you're going to be in trouble. Everything's run on this system of time that's not even real anyway.
Yeah, it's not even real.
But, they put a fear into you, first of all. And,
if you're late, then this happens.
Right. I think like your friend Brian, he said his kid was late to school one time. And how did that work? They wouldn't excuse him, so they called him and his wife into the principal's office?
Yeah. And
what a joke.
His kid is probably, 8 years old or something like that? And they actually called him and his wife into the principal's office of the school.
To talk about like why their kid was late?
It's just, it's so wild. But, as you're saying this, I started thinking, it doesn't even begin with that. It begins with birth. In the womb, there's no such thing as trimesters, really. There's no such, the baby has no idea.
Wow, you're one-upping me here.
Well,
it's true.
But I just started thinking that like maybe the babies start learning about numbers and time and all this stuff from the womb, because they're obviously, if the mother and father are fighting, or if the father's singing to the baby in the womb, the baby can understand that, and they've tested this, so the baby is able to sense,
tap into,
the father's voice and everything. Mm-hmm. And so if the doctor's telling you that, now you're in your second trimester, but there's no such thing as trimesters. There really isn't.
Or the time of taking the baby out. Like, it's time. That baby's too big. We're going to either C-section or start, giving you Pitocin and kick this thing up a notch. Talk about like the baby's like, I'm not ready. It's not my time.
Right.
Probably 99 times out of 100, that baby knows when it's time to come out, and they're on their own time schedule. And yet from birth, a ton of babies are told it's time prior to their time, and there you go.
And what do you do when the baby is born? You weigh it and you put a number on it. You get a social security number. You apply numbers all over it.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's like we're just
barcoded babies.
Yeah. It's really weird. And so we're just in this world of numbers and mathematics, and saying that, I'm old because I'm 40, or I'm old because I'm 50, I'm old because I'm 20. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's this obsession with numbers that I think that for one, I'm going to try to get out of, because the fact that the principles of the universe work on numbers is a great thing. Like the golden mean, the Fibonacci sequence, the spiral, sacred geometry, all of these things are amazing. But I think the problem is that when you start dictating all of life to these numbers, and you start timing things and, making all of our lives about how these numbers affect us, that's just not natural. And I think that over the course of a lifetime, I wonder if there's been any studies or books written about how mathematics breaks the body down, like Adam was saying in episode 271. I wonder if there's been studies that say that if we lived, this would be impossible, but I'm sure that if you were to, as much as you possibly can, eliminate numbers and how numbers affect your daily life out of your life, I'm sure that stress levels would reduce, cortisol levels would reduce, circulation would increase, endorphins would increase. I'm sure you'd feel better. It starts with going to school or being pregnant, being born. Then
it's cool. Amber Marie said in the chat room, though, this is so true and so interesting. She says that numerology says that that you pick your destiny, and that's reflected in the birth time. So she feels like if there even was a doctor saying we got to get this baby out, it would still be the perfect planned time, because basically you've already know it's like your destiny, and you're going to fulfill it anyway. So
whether that's a natural birth or a hospital birth.
That's a really interesting point.
So you would choose whatever one you're going to choose, and
Apparently.
that would be the right one.
That goes into a whole other rabbit trail.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in that kind of thing, numbers and numerology and things like that, listen to episode 271.
You know, it was interesting too, and I was driving around yesterday listening to that Dr. Christiane Northrup episode from Hay House Summit. Mm-hmm. She was saying that she likes to say, instead of the term, about doing something or being something for the, quote, rest of her life or the rest of life, she says the best of life. Because she says the best is yet to come, and it's so cool that's what it's like a new measure of time, and it resets that sense of losing and grasping at time in your brain, to be something positive rather than negative, rather than having time slip through your hands. It's like you only have a little bit. There's the rest of it, and we don't have much. And she says the best. So the best of my life. I'm going to do this for the best of my life because the best is yet to come. It's like like you're losing it and you have a little bit left.
I like that.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, she also talked about in that thing about how people will always say, oh, well, at my age, blah, blah, blah. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. She would say, people would say to her, oh, well, at my age, you get these aches and pains, or at my age. And she was saying, like, don't even apply
Don't claim it.
Don't claim an age.
Right. There is no age.
Yeah.
Adam Bergstrom was saying that he's stuck at 6. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Interesting. I'll talk about a little bit what happened with my job in the last couple of weeks. But Tana asked, do we ever listen to our replayed podcasts? She's just curious.
Oh, our archived shows? Not really. Sometimes we do.
We hardly do.
It's really difficult because we really don't have a lot of time to do that. But yeah, we're I don't know. There's so many of them now.
Yeah, we had one time, I think it was last summer, where we went out to the desert, to Palm Springs, and we listened to 2 of them going out there because we had never taken the time to listen to them, and we wanted to see how we could improve.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was really fascinating because it was somewhat surreal. It was listening to you tell a story from your own life, like you were hearing it for the first time because you forgot about that, or
you forgot about it. Yeah.
So what we think is really neat, though, is to be able to have these in the future, which is really cool, so that we can, our kids can listen to them, and maybe one time when we're of no age older, but we have the best of our life, and we might have some retirement situation going on, we can bust them out and kind of go back and listen to us tell ourselves stories to our younger selves.
And then we had Robert von Sarbacher on Monday talking about biofilms and how biofilms are causing everyone to be sick.
Wow, that was this week, huh?
Yeah, and so for those that don't know, biofilms are it's like this little encasing made out of this slime kind of material, but it's basically like a mucus type of material that protects viruses and bacteria from your white blood cells in your blood. And so it's similar to like a cancer or like a cell membrane, where it protects your body, or it protects the actual bacteria from being killed by your white blood cells. And so when people have lots of biofilms in their body, they can have autoimmune diseases because their bodies don't know that these bacteria and viruses exist. And so he was talking about candida and tips for better skin. He talked about the dangers of canola oil. Really fascinating guy. Isn't he an interesting guy?
He's interesting. The canola oil is,
yeah,
what is canola oil?
Yeah, it's like a combination of, remember he said rapeseed oil?
Yeah.
Not grape, but rape.
Rape.
I don't know what that is.
Doesn't sound good.
Well, yeah, whatever kind of oil that is.
You got to run the other way. Anything with that word, not good.
And then he talked about how a lot of these autoimmune diseases never even started until the advent of vaccinations and antibiotics. Yeah.
Yep. Isn't that interesting?
Really fascinating, yeah.
I can't believe that was this week. It seems like a lifetime ago.
Doesn't it?
And I think that's why we don't have time to listen to our replays of our podcast, even though sometimes I think they're funny and I like to listen to them to laugh and get some, things that I just listen to how I could improve, because I know there's a bunch there for me. I feel like there's so much information thrown at me. I can't even process what the guest said, let alone spend my time listening to what I just spent 2 hours talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like, even though it makes me sad. But
I know, it's crazy.
So I had an interesting, or I'm sorry, were you?
No.
Being the hostess, are you done over there? May I change the subject?
So formal, yes.
I would like to talk about, I'm just kidding. I had the weirdest thing in the about 2 weeks ago, where within 1 week, this is what's happening. I'm down to 1 day a week at the salon.
Oh, yeah.
Already very bummed to be there, to be honest. I wear a mask, like a SARS mask.
Should get you like one of those, what are those things that military people
Oh,
wear?
yeah, like a gas mask.
Gas mask. Yeah.
like a World War II, like full-on bomber.
You walk
gas
in
mask.
with a tank on.
That'd be awesome. Probably better to be breathing.
I don't think your clients would like that too
No.
much. Yeah.
But it already freaks them out, though, with the SARS mask. It makes them think, like, wow,
does it?
she's wearing this. A couple people have been like, I wonder what it's doing to my hair. And then a couple people laugh, and they're like, I only do it every once in a while. You know, you're around it all day. It makes sense why you would wear one. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, you know?
Wow.
So I think I've checked out a long time ago, but I was telling you, like, in the kitchen the other day that I feel like I'm a really good kind of hider. And so I feel like I was trying to, I feel like I'm still really good at making people think that my heart's in it, even though it's not.
Right.
But clearly I'm not, because I am, like, clients are dropping left and right. Like, left and right. I'm losing people. The decision's being made for me, even though I've decided to hang on this 1 day as long as I can until I absolutely don't have to do it anymore.
Wow.
And I feel like I'm at the edge of that cliff, about ready to jump, but still I'm not 100% ready to take the financial move yet for us.
Wow.
But the decision is being made for me. So that's been happening. So I'm kind of rolling with it. And then what else happened is a really interesting article came up on Natural News. Let me bring this up here.
So clients have been dropping just like steadily,
clients I've had for 15 years.
Recently have been doing that.
Oh, just recently, like ever since I went down to my 1 day a week.
Oh, wow.
And they're just piecing out. And the thing is, I'm not running after them. I'm not trying to gain them back. I still have a full day on Saturday, which is very strange. It's like loaves and fishes. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's still working.
Wow.
But I'm okay with losing people, because it's like, this is how, when you get into the flow of life and let God and the universe direct you, and, you know, it's becoming very aware that I'm done there, you know. But so anyway, that happened. I've been losing people. I started thinking about a bunch of people. I'm like, what happened to that person? Well, they're gone too, and that person's gone, and there's no reason why these people aren't happy, but they must sense something in me. I must be giving out the vibe that I'm not into it anymore or something.
That's the weirdest thing.
Because I'm a good faker, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I act interested. I deliver the same quality. I mean, they've always liked their hair. So that's interesting. And then I saw this article. It's very disturbing. We'll post it it's from Natural News, saying high levels of cancer-causing compounds found in hairdressers' blood. I already knew that breathing this stuff was terrible, but they did this study. So it says Sweden's Lund University went to bat for hairdressers in a new study attempting to isolate the cancer-causing chemicals that hairstylists may be exposed to. I'd say are exposed to. Yeah. The study investigated the blood of 300 hairdressers and also compared the data of 32 women who used dyes and 60 women who used no dyes. All 392 women in the study were non-smokers. The researchers studied the women's hemoglobin adjuncts to determine their long-term exposure to toxic compounds that come from hairdressing dyes. In parentheses, hemoglobin attaches to the cancer-causing molecules in hair dyes, allowing researchers to obtain clear blood readings. So basically, they say that these permanent oxidative hair dyes work by combining with hydrogen peroxide, and it sets off a chemical reaction between dyes, dye couplers, and aromatic amines.
Wow.
And it says when the blood of all three groups were tested for these potentially carcinogenic compounds called aromatic amines, the researchers found very few distinction. Only one compound stood out. One of the toxic aromatic amines found clinging to the hairdresser's hemoglobin was toluidine. This carcinogen was found at higher levels in the blood of the hairdressers in correlation with how often they use perm chemicals. And thank God I don't do that, but I used to.
You used to?
In fact, the researchers isolated toluidines, or however you say that, in one hair waving product, and they were found in the fixative and a mixture of fixative and perming solution. And then they go on to talk about all the hair levels in the different chemicals, not only in perm solutions, but in dyes. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And they're not even talking about bleach. Like, we're using hair bleach. We're mixing bleach with like a peroxide. We're breathing this stuff in. When you put a scoop of bleach, this powder goes up. There's no way to have this like non-powder form, and you're inhaling this bleach into your lungs.
Insanity.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
So between that and then finding out about my, mineral makeup I've been wearing on my face, that the poof, when you apply that, you get this powder going all over the place. That stuff has titanium dioxide, I believe. That's what's in it. That's known to cause lung cancer.
Gets in your lungs, yeah.
I'm like, geez Louise, like,
wow.
You have to try so hard to,
You know what?
protect yourself.
Even if, as someone like you, this is, like you said, it's a sign. You got to get out of this job, right? But for people that go into salons, I wouldn't even step foot in a salon.
Oh, I know.
It's amazing, because if you're getting your hair done and there's other people there and it's a big salon, they're having all these chemicals. These particles are floating throughout sure, if you go there once a month and you do your zeolite, you do your sauna, you do your rebounding, you take your cleanses and stuff like that. Yeah, it's going to be mitigated a lot, but man, why put your body through that?
Janine in the chat room saying that's why she's no longer a manicurist. We walk by those places on the main street and you can smell them 15 feet out the door.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So scary.
I think that stuff, from everything I've seen, it seems to me that stuff is actually changing your DNA.
It is.
Yeah, it's changing the gene expressions of what happens when your DNA unfolds, and man, it is just.
So not only am I having health challenges, having strange blood work, having a high heavy metal ring in my blood showing from a live blood cell analysis, having these really interesting articles find me and pop up to give me one more reason, because this wasn't a study about people that get their hair dyed. It was about the actual hairdressers'
their
blood applying this stuff. Not only did all this happen, 2 weeks ago, I'm in the salon on a Saturday and I got electrocuted. Like, what more do I need to? I laughed because I'm like, 15 years, I've never been electrocuted. It was the weirdest thing that ever happened.
Yeah, what happened?
I'm curling my client's hair to go to a wedding or a function or something she had that night. It's this giant, 1.5-inch curling iron making these really pretty kind of like beach waves. I have one section left of the hair to curl. It's just she and I. No one else is working that day. It was around 4:00 in the afternoon. I put the curling iron on. I'm starting to weave it around, wind it around the curling iron. And I thought I heard a shotgun outside the salon, and it scared the heck out of me. I thought I heard a gun, like a bullet just out of the... So it scared me, and I dropped the curling iron, and it hit the ground, and a fireball. It was like Mario Brothers. A giant fireball shot across the floor, smoking, and went under this cabinet. And she and I were like, oh my gosh. I think we kind of screamed. We're like, oh, so she stood out of the chair. I'm like, oh, wow. And the first thing I thought was, oh my gosh, thank God that fireball didn't get anywhere near her hair. It would have been
Michael Jackson
tragedy. Totally, right?
Yeah.
Pepsi commercial. Yeah. Oh. So I'm looking under, we're kind of cautious, and we look under the cabinet to make sure that there's no fire starting,
Yeah.
Nothing just fizzled out. And so then I was shaking, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I went over into the broom closet and got this like rubber, I didn't want to conduct any kind of weird electricity. So I got this rubber broom, and I shut off the, the power to my power switch.
Yeah.
And pulled the curling iron, and where the curling iron connected, like the cord to the actual appliance, just blown out. There's all these cords hanging out. It looked like R2-D2 or C-3PO, just like all this just blown out cords, fizzled.
Wow.
So I realized what had happened is it exploded. That made the noise, like the shotgun noise. I dropped the thing, it spit out the fireball. So I was like, oh my gosh. So we're laughing, and I said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I guess you're going to have to go home and finish that one section of your hair. And she's like, no, I'm just glad we're okay and nobody got fried. I'm like, yeah, me too. So I start to like wrap up the curling iron to throw outside, and I'm like, man, my neck really hurts. And I go to the mirror, and I see this red line, 4-inch line on the left side of my neck going from like right below my chin to the start of my neck, like by my clavicle. And I thought it was the spark that like probably like got to me. Well, my next client was a fireman, and he comes in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I think I just got I just got lit up by a spark on my neck. And he looked at it, and he's like, asked me the story, and I told him, and he said, that's what happens when you get electrocuted.
Really?
He said there'll be a line usually on the body to show like an exit of the body where the electricity kind of like he said it probably went up my arm, arced through, and then came out my neck. and left a line, and it lasted for about 3 hours, and then it went away. But holy moly.
Oh, my gosh.
Right?
So that is as if that's not another sign for you to get out of
Here
that
I am
job.
wearing a mask, being electrocuted, knowing that I'm inhaling these cancer-causing compounds, having weird blood work, heavy metal. It's like, I don't know. I need to take the leap, and it's coming very, very soon. It's just pretty intense.
Yeah. I mean, you can't have any more things to tell you that you need to get out of that job.
I know.
I mean, I'd rather take less money and it's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
It's a very big leap for me, though.
Yeah. Gosh.
So interesting, right?
Wow, that's amazing. So we'll put a link to that article from Natural News. Natural News. Yeah, we'll put a link to that article. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the actual blood work of the stylists themselves.
Yeah.
That has this.
Yep. High carcinogen level of the certain chemical. There's
an article I wanted to share with you guys too. It's just something I felt like I should share today. It's entitled 4 Nutrient-Dense Foods to Eat During Pregnancy. And the 4 foods are egg yolks, bone broth, cod liver oil, and probiotic-rich food. And so I just wanted to share that with you. There's a whole entire article about why these foods are so good. And it says, traditional cultures knew about the importance of nutrient-dense foods for pregnant women. In traditional cultures, pregnant women were encouraged to eat a few key nutrients for the healthy development of a new baby. Research has found that pregnant women who consume these super nutrients reduce their chances of premature birth, gestational diabetes, high blood pressure, and preeclampsia. These babies born to these mothers also have lower incidences of cold, viruses, and eczema. So egg yolks, bone broth, cod liver oil, and probiotic-rich foods. So that's I'll put a link to that article too. There's a whole article, but yeah, these are really, really incredible foods to eat during pregnancy. And it says research has found that the foods a woman consumes during pregnancy can predict her baby's likelihood of heart disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and more. Pretty interesting stuff.
Where'd you find that?
That was a website called healthylivinghow2.com.
Yeah. Let me put a link to that.
Yeah.
Healthy Living How To.
We'll get you out of that job, Kate. We will get you out of that job.
I know. It's already been done, right?
It's already been done. You just have to the future needs to map itself out.
Yes. Yeah.
The present has to match the future.
On the quantum level, it's been done.
It's already been done. You just have to reach that point.
Yeah. I'm so fried. I'm so burnt out on it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's so much. That's why it's just so exciting to be able to sit here on a Friday morning and just go, I'm so happy it is that I'm happy that I know what it is I want to do, that I'm not just like floundering around going, oh, like I used to, as I've said on other episodes, I've taken so many classes trying to find that thing. And it's like the minute you just let go and kind of jump into the river and let it take you is when you thrive the most, and it just comes to you and takes you exactly where you need to go.
So what do you guys got going on the Empowered Women's channel? Lots of stuff going on there.
We do.
Lots of
Our goal is to release 2 to 3 new articles or recipes a week.
Uh-huh.
And I have to say, Bo Wong, my partner, she is absolutely amazing from My Organic Life, and she just charges it with the social media stuff. She's amazing. So she's constantly a presence on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and
Reddit.
She'll find things. She'll find these social media contacts. I'm like, I've never heard of that. And she's like, I made it up. No, just kidding.
This cool thing, this article here, cleanse your space with sage.
Oh, yeah. She wrote that article, actually.
That's so
She's
cool.
a big sage cleanser. She likes to go into each room and kind of clear the space. And it's interesting.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Doing that, it's... you can actually clear energies and clear all kinds of stuff with that.
Yeah. It made me, I've actually never done that. What's really funny at our salon is we're downtown on a main street, and we've had a lot of unfortunate, kind of crazy homeless people walk in. And you just feel really bad for them because they're just out to lunch, But this one lady that hit me with a stick one time, actually. That was really funny.
Oh, yeah.
She came in and wouldn't leave. And after we finally, I don't know if we called the cops or what, but she ended up getting, escorted out. I think probably spent one night in prison or in jail and then was released again. And poor thing. I mean, she had a lot of voices going on. Mm-hmm. But there was a weird energy in that salon. So the owner took sage and saged the whole place.
Oh, really?
And I'm not kidding. Not one homeless person or crazy person has walked through that door since. It really works. And we still laugh. We're like, good job saging the place. Like,
oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I remember thinking it smelled so funky. It was like she overpowered it. It was like, oh my gosh, you couldn't even breathe the next day. But it was better than smelling chemicals.
That is so cool.
But we still laugh at that. We're like, look at the power of saging. It's almost like it kept out, all negativity and weirdness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, we should do that here.
Oh, yeah. I kind of want to.
Do you do it? I wonder, I guess Bo would know because she wrote that article. Mm-hmm. I wonder how often you should do that.
She said you can do it every season or as often as you think, but at least once a year. Encouraged all the family members to get involved. And
that's so cool.
Yeah, put really great intention into the rooms and create peace. And
hey, Cherie wrote an article.
I know.
Essential Oils 101. That's cool.
Yep. She's the essential oil queen. I love her.
That hippiemom.com.
Yep. Her website's up and going finally. And
she's been on our website before talking about essential oils.
On our show.
Yeah, that's right. On our show. And wow, this is really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it's fun. There's constant new things. And, we have a ton of stuff just waiting to roll out. It's really exciting. I get excited when we release a new article just to see how people like it.
Are you guys going to be doing some videos too?
We are.
And you're going to be doing a podcast that starts next week?
Yes, sir.
How cool is that?
It's going to be really fun.
You and Bo. So
yeah, thanks everybody for already just being such a support for the Empower Women's channel. Like whether it's you like us on Facebook or subscribe to the newsletter, like it's going to be a lot of fun. I feel like it's just starting and it's obviously in its infant stage and it's really fun to watch it kind of start to grow.
Wow. You know what? I'm looking at this homemade chocolate recipe she has.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. That looks so good.
Amazing stuff.
You know what? Wow, that looks so good. It makes me want to make this chocolate right now. Oh my goodness.
Well, that reminds me of when she was staying here with us and made a bunch of chocolate, and it was for a photo for a blog. And we went to it? Yeah, we went to go take pictures of it. Went to the fridge or the freezer, and guess what? It was in someone's belly already.
Belly. That is so funny. You know what? To learn how to make chocolate, the best course that there is on that is from our friend Russell James.
Oh my gosh, I want to spend my summer playing the banjo and making chocolate.
I'll put a link to his chocolate course. If you guys don't know how to make raw tempered chocolate, that's the
difference.
That's the difference. To temper the chocolate. I'll put a link on this show page, episode, what is it, 272? 272?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll put a link to his raw chocolate course because if you guys want to learn how to make this stuff rather than buying it, you'll save so much money.
So much money, and it's like insane that the chocolate you can make is better. It's like being at a chocolatier. Like it's almost like you took a full literal course on how to become a chocolate master.
Well, these Russell James and the girl he does the course with are both chocolatiers and both traditionally trained chefs.
It shows.
But they're also interested in, Russell James is sort of he's known as the raw chef. So he does a lot of raw food and things like that with superfoods and herbs and fermented foods. The guy's incredible.
Yeah, he's a genius.
But we'll put a link. Actually, let's put a link to his chef course if you guys are interested, as well as the chocolate course, because, oh my goodness, it'll make you, if you watch the video, it's going to make you salivate. It's sort of like looking at this recipe here.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh, it looks.
Well, I'm glad that our recipe makes you excited, salivating.
Yeah. Wow, this looks really good.
So yeah, those are amazing courses.
All right, I think that's about.
I think that's it. You're not what?
That's a wrap.
You're not supposed to say it. Okay. It's my turn.
Okay.
Well, everyone, thank you for.
You're too formal.
I'm just kidding. No, I think it's a wrap too, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. That was so much fun, and I'm glad Justin let me try my hand over here at hostessing.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Anytime.
We had a fun time. I'll let you close the show.
Are you sure?
I'm going to hand over the reins, and you do it better than me.
No.
You want me to try it?
It's up to you.
Okay, let me think.
If
you'd like to join our Facebook community, I'll let you close.
No, I just want to let you guys know that if you do want to join our community, you can do that extremehealthradio.com/Facebook, and you can join the community there. Also, I would highly recommend signing up to our newsletter list too. Facebook, little bit strange. They're making it more and more difficult to reach all of our people. So we'll send out messages, and only a few hundred people will see it, and we've got a few thousand. So it's really strange.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah, so the best way to stay up to date with us, I'm not sure how Facebook is working these days, but the best way to stay up to date with our shows and everything we have going on every week is to sign up to our newsletter list, because A, you get a free gift. You get the Lessons from the Miracle Doctors, an incredible ebook that sells for $20 on Amazon. You get that free. But then also, once a week, you'll get our newsletter written by me, and there's some really good information in there. And then at the end of the week on Sundays, you'll get a recap of the last 4 shows that we've done that week.
That's pretty cool.
So it's pretty cool. You get to stay up to date with all that stuff. And so I would highly recommend signing up to the newsletter list so that you can stay up to date with all our stuff like that.
And are we on Twitter?
We're on Twitter. People can follow us. You know what? A really good thing that would be really helpful for people to do is to leave us a review on iTunes. Because
that would be really helpful.
Yeah, the more people that subscribe to us on iTunes, I've just found out, I should know all this stuff, but I'm too busy trying to create good content, and I don't have time to learn all the marketing things and all this stuff you're supposed to do with shows. But I did learn recently that the more people who subscribe to you on iTunes and the more people who leave you good comments, the more your show will actually show up in the search results. So when people are on, apparently a lot of people are on iTunes and they search around for different health podcasts and things. So if you guys were all to head over there to iTunes and put in Extreme Health Radio and leave a review, that would be really helpful. Apparently, there's some sort of algorithm that makes our site come up.
Oh, that's awesome. Good to know.
Yeah. So, if you guys would do that, that'd be really helpful. So that's pretty cool.
Somebody in the chat room said we should bring back MySpace. And I laughed that our friend Garrett said, we were talking about all the different social media, remember? Yeah. We're like, I'll Twitter you, I'll Facebook you, and he's all twit-face you. And I think he said like something like, I'll space-black you, or like,
I'll Google space you.
There's all these crazy things going on.
We're on Friendster, so just hit us up on Friendster.
Friendster, I forgot about
Remember that? That was kind of almost big for a while.
Friendster. Friendspace.
Friendspace. Yeah, there's a lot of Google Plus. There's a lot of things.
My twat.
That doesn't sound good.
Twitspace. We could come up with a whole bunch.
But if you guys can, I mean, I'm sure in 5-10 years there's going to be a new social media du jour of the day that will be taking over for Facebook and things. But the best way to do it is just to sign up to our newsletter list. That way you can always stay in contact with us, whether or not Facebook goes away or some other website takes over. We can't.
Because it will.
That. Yeah, it will. Mm-hmm. I'm sure. But you know what's the interesting thing is, we're talking about this recently, Kate, is that it's so wild, isn't it, that our culture has been so conditioned. Now, it's sort of like TV. Once the TV was invented, it wasn't as if 10 years later their TVs would go away. Now that there's such a thing as social media, I don't think we could live without social media these days. Business, all YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. Isn't it weird?
It is weird. Part of me doesn't like it, and part of me thinks it's fabulous all at the same time.
Yeah, it's this love-hate relationship with it, isn't it?
Maggie! Oh my gosh. I have to tell everybody, we made these on-air signs. We'll have to post a picture of it.
We should videotape what's going on right now.
Oh my! I wish I had a video camera.
This is hilarious.
We hit it so it's this on-air sign that's lit up, and it's just for fun. Maggie is going around it in a circle, like growling and not sure why it's lit up, and she's really scared of it. Yeah, she growled, and then she's like shirking away from it. She gets close and then gets freaked out. Oh my gosh, Maggie, it's just an on-air sign. Oh my gosh!
Wow, that's hilarious.
I'll get a video of this later.
Yeah, because people are in their cars driving along right now on their way to work and can't picture what she's doing.
No, it's too funny.
Oh man, that's funny. But yeah, I thought it was really fascinating that people nowadays we've been so conditioned as a culture to have such a thing as social media, and even if Facebook goes away, there's going to have to be something that takes its place.
It will be replaced. There's something
crazy, wild stuff. All right, everybody, I want to thank all of you guys for joining us in the chat room. It's Friday. What are you guys going to do today?
It's finally Friday.
I
hope something really funny. I hope something really fun.
Yeah, it's Friday. I love Fridays.
Yeah, Fridays are the best. They're the feel in the air.
It's just so good.
We know what Maggie's going to spend her Friday doing, figuring out that light over there. She's just obsessed.
Oh, my goodness.
It's okay,
we'll have
Maggie.
to comfort her. That's
This is hilarious.
Yeah, we want to thank all you guys for joining us and being a part of everything we have going on, being a part of the chat room and sharing our show, writing us reviews on iTunes, sharing our show on Facebook and Twitter, telling your friends about it if they are in need of anything health-related, and then also all of your support financially through the store that we have and through our donations that you can find a link to on our site and buying through Amazon and all that stuff. It really, really, really is just so helpful to us, and without it, we wouldn't be able to do a show like this, and without it, Kate would have to be doing hair for the next 50 years.
Seriously, you guys. When I think about it, that's what I would still be doing. I would be not seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, and I would probably die a premature death.
Yeah.
At least in my soul, because I'm so fried on this. But it's because of you guys that I'm able to even consider this an option. So we really appreciate everything you guys do for us.
Yeah, thank you so much. And now it's time to go have some fun, right?
Let's do it.
Time to have some fun. All right, guys, this was episode 272, and we'll put all the links to everything we talked about on this show page, as well as a link to our forum. And please sign up to our forum if you guys would like to interact with other Extreme Health Radio listeners. It's a great community for people to become friends with other people and to get their questions answered, and just to join a really nice Facebook-free environment where people can interact with one another and share their stories and things. And so we'll put a link to the forum thread on this show page, episode 272. And I think that's about it, right? And we'll catch you on the next episode. Did I end that right? You did. Okay. You did. That was good. Thanks.
Thank you for listening to this episode. It's time to go for now, but our mission does not end with this show. Justin and Kate will be back with another interview packed full of ideas, discoveries, and unique ways to regain your health. Head on over to extremehealthradio.com/subscribe and instantly download our free gift too that contains cutting-edge strategies to start making healthy lifestyle changes today.
I'll help you.
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even if you educate yourself in the field of live food, nutrition, and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering